And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. It is a TGIF version of it, and I tell you, just ready for the weekend. A little bit of R&R, and it's going to be a busy month of March, no doubt. As you guys know, we're on the road to Nashville, Tennessee, Country Radio Seminar, March 13 to 15 at the Omni Hotel in Nashville, Tennessee. We'll be there with a slew of interviews, Facebook Live, the entire broadcast there, presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey. Check them out at bangtail.com, easyliquor.com. You want to do some online shopping, also to our friends at Gentle Ben Spirits, the vodka, the gin, the bourbon is fantastic, gentleben.com. And, of course, Honky Tonk Texas. Thank them for flying us up there to Nashville for CRS 2023, back here live on the YouTube channel and at the sportsguys podcast.com. Please welcome in our featured artist of the day. He's one of Canada's most wanted out there. At least I like to think of it that way. We love his music and the new single, Whispering Pines. He got to work with his wife, Sarah, on this single. Came out there at the end of January. Kyle McKearney to the show. Kyle, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Man, good to have you here on the show. Well, I'll tell you what, I mentioned that whole most wanted thing. I like to have fun with stuff like that, too. You've been around this thing called music, and again, just the award nominations continue to come your way across the country in Canada there. The breakthrough year last year, Down Home was such a great debut album. A lot of streams, made a lot of pop around the world with people. Just talk a little bit about your background, the connection to music, and man, these early achievements you've gotten so far in your career.
Sure, yeah. And thank you. I grew up in it. So my dad's a musician and spent 8 years in Nashville trying to slog it out as a singer-songwriter. My grandparents played and sang and earned a living doing kind of country and bluegrass in our hometown and way up in northern BC. Real cold up there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just kind of born into it. My dad was in a touring band the year that I was born. And so I was literally on the road with them when I was first, till I went to school, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And just always played, got to head to Nashville quite a few times growing up because dad was living there. And just I loved country music. I loved the playing and the storytelling. Kind of went through, I was also a big rock and roll fan and a big blues fan. And bluegrass, of course, that's what my grandpa. And so when I started, just writing songs, they were always kind of sounding like a bunch of those different genres and kind of couldn't figure out where they fit. So I never ended up doing anything with them. And then eventually I discovered, Americana, and I discovered the Chris Stapletons and Tyler Childer and Jason Isbell's of the world. And I started to realize, holy, like there's this place for this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love that too. And mention, let's just break a little bit more, break it down and talking a little bit about that debut album, which did so well for you out there too, Down Home. You had a great song to kind of set the tone for the record in Devil Water. And of course, I loved everything from Keeping It Simple to one of the last ones, Old Rock and Roll Song. Tell us about just the album itself, the breakthrough. Everybody kind of wants that in the music industry, where they're putting out an album, a full-length album, an EP, or a single, when it comes to staying current with their audience. Talk about and hit on some of the highlights of Down Home for me.
Yeah, okay. I think some of those songs were songs that I worked out, like I was saying, prior to even considering doing a record of my own stuff. I was afraid to do that. I was worried that, that it wasn't good or what it was, or, I was always dependent on co-writes and producers to help me in my career. And I think with Down Home, it was just the leap of faith of like putting out what I like and what I do naturally myself. And Devil Water was one of those songs that was something I had that I thought was special. So it was extra scary to put it out there. But yeah, that's one of my favorites. I like there's a song on that record called Tough or Die, and that's a really special song to me too. It's a banger live, and it's a story song. It's some of my story. So
I like that too. I wanted to ask you about what was pretty cool. I mean, this career always taking off and the competitions, things like this. But I know you won a pretty good substantial amount of money through this Alberta's music project, which was like it was Music Project Wild, I believe it was called. Take me through all this and the momentum and kind of what started after that. Campaigning to raise funds, which I thought was really cool because a lot of musicians do things for nonprofit, things like this. You did funds for a lot of things with food banks, things like that in Canada, Calgary, and facing fears like hunger strikes, things like that. Well, not knowing where their next meal is going to come from, and just trying to help the needy. Talk about, I guess, just that competition, the funding, and of course the nonprofit work you do. I think it's fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, it was great. That was a fun situation. It was called Project Wild, like you said, and it was basically a workshop of selected artists that got to go and try and win the grand prize. It was like American Idol, if you will, or something
Mm-hmm.
like. But it was more based in different aspects of an artist's career. Like there was a merchandise challenge, and there was a charity challenge, which was the hunger opportunity that I did with Jason McCoy there. And the winner of these challenges kind of got up and got to win a pile of cash, and I came in second place, so I got $75,000. It was amazing. Paid
Mm-hmm.
for the record and a bunch of other things, so that was great. And yeah, I learned a lot during that process, during the time, and about charities. I had to dig into a bunch of different things and try and learn about what connects with me. And yeah, the food banks one was really substantial. We ended up raising, I think, $10,000 through online donations for the food banks of Canada. And the song that I partnered with Jason McCoy from the Roadhammers up here, and
Mm-hmm.
we did, yeah, a kind of a Americana version of Temple of the Dog's Hunger Strike. It was super fun.
Love that too. And like you said, it's always good to do those competitions because you kind of find out you have fun with it too at the same time, but you also get to know yourself as an artist, kind of what you want to be, what type of career you want to have. And of course, people say we dabble in music for a long time, and I like some people we've had here on the show that do those competitions are always like, we never know what's going to come out of them, but we won't know unless we do sign up for something like that. So you do gain a lot of that valuable experience too, which I think is fantastic. No far someone goes on a show like that, it's always good to participate in competitions and find out can you push yourself to the limit as an artist too, and find out who you are and what you want to be, and like you said, your sound out there too. I love this new single that you guys have out. Let's talk a little bit about it, and we'll have you play it for us. Whispering Pines kind of came together working with it with your significant other Sarah on this particular song, and really it's got a lot of everything in it too for Americana and country music fans.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, I was I was working out of town. I was kind of on the job, and I was feeling isolated. I was working a weird shift from 3 in the morning till like 8 in the morning, and then again 4 p.m. till 8, and it was this split kind of thing, and it was hard to keep in contact with my family, and I missed my kids and my home, and it was so cold. It was -40 the whole time. It was like 8 months, and just tough. So I wrote the song while I was driving. It was kind of a driving job, so I wrote the song while I was driving in the truck, and it was kind of one-sided. So I thought it would be a great idea to have hear Sarah's side, and Sarah sings in my band and
Mm-hmm.
plays. So yeah, it's a perfect opportunity to hear her side and have a duet out of it.
I love it too. Again, it's out there across all the digital platforms. Well, I'll tell you what, perfect time, good segue here to have you play a little piece of that if you want to. Whispering Pines out there from Kyle McKearney, and of course, his wife Sarah does the harmonies, and of course, plays in the band there on that song. If you guys haven't checked it out and you want to check it out across all your digital platforms, and again, it's all yours, Kyle. Take it away.
Yeah, sure. I've been working my hands to the bone, tried to know the month or day. These north wind cut lines on my face. My heart feels so damn far away. The only thing making me sane. Whispering pines, whispering pines. The sound of them always reminds me of a time when you used to lay beside me, sweet as your loving inside, bitter as our last goodbye. Sing your lonesome lullaby, whispering pines. And then Sarah would sing the second verse, so that's probably a good place.
Right there, Sarah would take over and do her part too, no doubt about it too. Well, time for our first time out here on the Backstage Pass. Again, it's Friday, of course, and looking forward to March already next week. And 2 weeks from tomorrow, Nashville, Tennessee is setting the Omni Hotel, and of course, broadcasting live March 13 to 15 there, all day in the media room, Monday, Tuesday, half a day Wednesday, and a whole slew of guests, Buddy Jewell, McBride and the Ride, Ty Herndon, and a whole lot more. Travis Denning is going to be coming down, stopping with us, talking about his latest music and a whole bunch more as we broadcast live from Music City, the Omni Hotel, presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey, also our friends at Honky Tonk Texas, and Gentle Ben Spirits out there too as well. More with Kyle McKearney here on the Backstage Pass, just getting started. About 15 or so minutes left. We'll get into rapid fire and a whole lot more. If you have a question for Kyle or myself, or we get it on the air, feel free to ask it there as we're live on the YouTube channel and also at the Sports Guys podcast.com. Coming right back, more with Kyle McKearney. Stay tuned.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here on the show again, of course, our friends out there, appreciate them. Bangtail Whiskey, our friends at Gentle Ben Spirits, and of course out there at Honky Tonk Texas present CRS 2023 live at the Omni Hotel March 13 to 15. And of course, we got a great lineup of great interviews there coming up there at the Omni Hotel. McBride and the Ride, of course, Buddy Jewell, and a lot of great country artists there too. I believe Shenandoah is going to stop by. Mike McGuire, Marty Raven, just got to see them in concert last week in Louisiana, put on a fantastic show. We'll talk about the Revival, their new single, and a whole lot more there at CRS 2023. Back here with Kyle McKearney on the Backstage Pass. Don't forget, next week, Travis Denning stops by, and our very own Texas country artist, Aaron Watson, right here on the Backstage Pass. Always fun to have Aaron here on the show. Hey, I got to ask you, Kyle, about a very special song you guys did, or at least I really fell in that category with Donna Mero, fellow Canadian there, Let 'Em Lie. You guys did a fantastic version of that song, a music video. It was seen worldwide. Tell us all about this project. This song also caught fire.
Okay, yeah. The Let 'Em Lie was kind of our response to the scene that were uncovered up here in Canada in Kamloops. And the number keeps growing and growing. Don and I are both Métis, and so we just felt something, and we wanted to do something to, you know, tell the survivors' stories, or just try and give people a platform to feel heard. And so, we got together and wrote this song, Let 'Em Lie, about that. And we put it out there. And that was the coolest part about that, was just seeing, actual survivors from the residential school system responding on the thread, and, telling us that the song meant a lot to them, and that they felt like their story was being told. And I think that's very important. And, that's what we were trying to accomplish with that song. So
You did a great job with it, no doubt. I also wanted to kind of get into some more singles that you guys had put out there too. I thought it was another fantastic song, at least in my book. River Rain came out there last year in 2022. Take me through the writing and kind of the making of that one, and how much fun that was to step in the studio to put the finishing touches on that one.
Yeah, River Rain was a fun song all around. It's about my family, right? About my two boys and my wife Sarah. And so there's some Cree words in the song. The first line is my Sapaya, and that means river. My youngest son's middle name is River, and my oldest son's middle name is Rain, and that's where the title of the song comes from. And so, Jones, baby Jones, he was crawling around on the floor, and I just started playing this guitar part, and I was like, something there, and I started singing a melody, and I got the first like few lines like right away, just watching him crawl around on the floor. And then, the rest of the song came later. But it was it's a really special song for me. It's something I just wanted to have out there so that my kids can watch it later and be like, yeah, my dad loves me. Oh, I think I might have froze. Hold on. Hello. Sorry, I'm having a technical issue here.
We're back here on the show here with Kyle. Like I said, little technical issues. It happens here. It's what live broadcasting is all about here, presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey, Honky Tonk Texas, and Gentle Ben Spirits. I wanted to get into the song I was talking about there before we had a little technical difficulty there, and we kind of broke up. River Rain, when you guys put that out, Kyle, as a single last year, I thought it was another great song. Talk about just the making of it, the writing, and then also stepping in the studio to put the finishing touches on a song like that.
Yeah, for sure. That's so funny. I just told the whole story, and then I was like, wait a sec, something's wrong.
I couldn't hear you. It's all good. That's what live broadcasting is all about.
Yeah. So yeah, my son's my youngest son's middle name is River, and my oldest son's middle name is Rain. And so baby Jones was crawling around on the floor one morning, and I was just playing this thing on the guitar, and I just hit the first three lines right away, and it was like, yeah, this is cool. This is going to be a special song for my family. So, I wrote it about the two boys and my wife, Sarah, and wanted to make a nice video for it, because I was thinking, my thought was that, when my boys watch it later, they're just going to be like, yeah, my dad loves me. So.
I like the fact that came together, River and Rain. That's pretty amazing. You guys also put one out there as a single last year. There was for more of that contemporary country, which I like, called Left, and I thought that was pretty cool. You had kind of a single art cover, of course, the sign, and like open land with the highway kind of going through it there too, and it pretty much gave itself away when it was talking about the direction, things like that, and which way to go in life, choices, things. At least I got out of it too from the single. What was your kind of interpretation, I guess, of how it came out in the studio? And was this one that you wrote, a single called Left?
Yeah, I wrote that song by myself, actually. That's one of my favorites. I love that song. I think that we all go through, we all have so many decisions, a million micro decisions a day in our lives. And sometimes I feel like when you're young, this was my experience anyway. When I was young, I was just kind of chasing something that maybe was already there that I had left behind. And that was kind of the idea that, that brought Left to life. It was like a travel song, a life experience song, and the story of, kind of realizing that you have everything you need as long as you decide that you do.
That's true. And like I said, we all got choices there, and sometimes the choices we make will actually, I guess, put the. I love the cover because it made so much the road that we, I guess, all traveled or less traveled or whatever you want to call it there, which direction to go and which way to kind of make up our minds in life for the choices that we do make. Before I turn it over to you, I want to break down a song on the Down Home record that I thought was really brought to life on that record, and you guys had it as a single, I believe, before you put it on the album Down Home. The one called Annie. Tell us all about that one.
Oh yes, Annie. Yeah, that's another special one. I like that. I love playing that song live. Annie was a person that I knew, my first love, and my first situation was less than optimal. We'll say my first love was someone that wasn't very dependable or very it was always a gamble whether this person was going to be around or not, and that's just the way she was. She was just a wild spirit and needed to be out in the world, and it was cool. And there's certain things that are just so admirable about that and inspiring about that, and so that's what the song Annie was written about.
Like it, no doubt, man. Like I said, one of my favorites out there. Again, Kyle McKearney here on the Backstage Pass. You can check him out on the web too. I'm KyleMcKearney.com for all the latest tour dates, merchandise, and of course all the latest announcements out there and across the socials. Go give him a like out there because as all artists love to be liked out there, we do here as a broadcast here on the Backstage Pass. We'll turn it over to you, Kyle, for another little I guess snippet of a performance or the full-length song, whatever you like to do for us here on the show. Love a lot of the music out there. And, of course, all the songs we're talking about today are available across your favorite digital platform out there to stream at your liking. What are we going to hear?
Why don't we do some of Annie?
That'll work. All right, here we go.
Sure. Annie comes around sometimes, but you can't find her online. She'll only stay a couple days. Yeah, she likes to come in waves. People talk, I don't listen, can make them stop. Something's missing, I hope she knows. It hurts to want you to go. If I find a place to rest our bones, find a place to call our own, Annie, will you love me? If I find a place to break our bread, find a place where we can wait, Annie, will you love me again? I met her in a bar one night. Yeah, she asked me for a light. So we drink and smoke and breathe the sun. So much unlike anyone. And people talk, I don't listen, can make them stop. Something's missing, I hope she knows. It hurts to watch her go. If I find a place to rest our bones, find a place to call our own, Annie, will you love me? If I find a place to break our bread, find a place where we can wait, Annie, will you love me? 'Cause Annie comes around and Annie comes around and Annie comes around and oh, my heart starts to pound when Annie comes around. and it comes around sometimes. It should help you drink your wine. She'll make you feel 1,000 ways. She'll never change her random ways. So if I find a place to rest our bones, find a place to call our own, Annie, will you love me? If I find a place to break our bread and find a place where we can wed, Annie, will you love me? 'Cause Annie comes around and ooh, Annie comes around and ooh, Annie comes around and ooh, my heart starts to pound when Annie comes around.
Like, take me to the dance hall and get my wife, and we get on the dance floor, start drinking, and start two-stepping. That's just a great country song there of country music the way I do. The way I grew up on that 90s country, too, is fantastic. Annie is out there across all the digital platforms. Very special song there. Again, Kyle McKearney here on the Backstage Pass, presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey, Honky Tonk Texas, and also Gentle Ben Spirits out there, too, presenting sponsors for CRS 2023, March 13 to 15 at the Omni Hotel, broadcasting live from Nashville, Tennessee at Country Radio Seminar. Looking forward to that. Our third year in a row participating in that event. Looking forward to it. One final timeout. We'll come back with Rapid Fire here with Kyle here on the Backstage Pass. We're live on the sportsguyspodcast.com and the YouTube channel. Word from our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and also the Prosecco process with Gentle Ben Spirits. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. That's the process behind it. The Prosecco Spirits, the vodka, the gin. It's fantastic out there. GentleBen.com, and also Total Wine Specs in the Houston area. And if you're going to a Rockets game or an Astros game coming up here in a few weeks, or the Rocket season as it's winding down, the Gentle Ben bars inside the Toyota Center out there. Ask for Gentle Ben out there. The vodka, the gin, the bourbon is fantastic. Back here with Kyle McKearney on the show, presented by those very folks, Gentle Ben Spirits, also our friends at Honky Tonk Texas, and Bangtail Whiskey. I got to ask you about this too, because I thought you guys had a great song with this one too, and it seemed like the industry got behind this particular song that you guys put out, and the one I'm talking about is Mercy, because a lot of fans got behind it, and like I mentioned, there are people in the country music industry. Tell us all about this one.
Yeah, Mercy flew. That was That was interesting. I think that was something I had the chorus in my phone. I was looking. I needed a couple more songs for this record, and I was, how you scroll back through your voice memos to things that you've written over the last couple of years, and I had this chorus idea, so I brought it to my pals, and we wrote that song up pretty quick. And it wasn't like there wasn't much. It's not that deep of a song. It's not like it's my other songs where it's this, big story and life lived experience. It was more of just a fun song. And we were like, well, what can we do that's unique about this? So we asked our friend Zoe Theodoro to sing backup vocals. She's kind of this like gospel amazing artist. And so she sang backup vocals. And we got Drew Smithers from Marcus King's band to play slide guitar on it. And he's so good, man. It just... Yeah, and so put the song, cool experience, cool tune.
I love the vibes, man. The music gives it that vibes, the goosebumps. The No wonder fans love it out there too, as much as I do. When you listen to it, you want to keep it cranking, especially like a lot of the songs we've talked about today, and the newest single, "Whispering Pines," out there too. All right, Kyle, my favorite part of the show. I love having fun with this because I get to know you more, and the audience does too, on that personal side of things. What you like, what you dislike, and kind of what kind of falls in the middle, I guess you could say. Favorite shows to binge watch for Kyle McKearney. What are they?
Oh, right now, definitely 1923, Yellowstone, 1886 we did. And the funny thing is that my wife is completely obsessed with Friends. So I've seen every 50 times in the 15 years we've been together.
A complete episode, and that's it's pretty cool when you're, and my wife's the same way. They love Friends, and I can still watch that, especially in the off days, and you just want a good day of television. You can kind of watch that too. Let's talk about the favorite foods. Who does the cooking in the household? I know for me, it's not me in my household, but favorite foods to cook, grill, do something for the family, or just takeout. What do you like?
Yeah, I'm definitely usually the one who will barbecue, so grill, and chickens, steaks, things like that. But I am not a cook. It's the thing I don't do. I can stay at dad and look after the kids and clean this house and do all those. But cooking is definitely Sarah's department.
Not my department either, too. It's the wife's department. I look after the kids and clean house, like you said, but cooking is not on the list for me, too. All right. I love doing this one, too. Favorite cartoons or movies, let's say if it was Disney or something like that you got into as a kid. What were they?
Oh, yeah. I loved Toy Story. I loved The Swan Princess, and I loved what was that other one? It was always because of the songs usually for me when I was a kid. There was one I watched all the time. Yeah, I can't remember. I loved Astro Boy too.
That was a good one. Yeah. That was another good one too. My kids into all those things right now, especially like the Big Hero 6 and just the Coco and all these Disney ones right now. She's into Frozen, and you mentioned Toy Story. She's been on that kick before too. It's kind of cool to see them go through these growth spurts and kind of just enjoy the little minds. Just can only think of like you said, one thing at a time, and it goes so fast. That for us, remember, I guess we forgot what it was like to be a kid. Now that we have kids, it's kind of like, I kind of get where they're coming from because their short attention spans only so long, But I think it's funny to kind of watch a kid. Mine's almost 3 now. She kind of grow up, and her reaction to, like, she's singing country songs now, Kyle. I can't believe this. Like, I've introduced her to you and several other artists that I've talked to here on the show, and she's singing lyrics of like songs now.
That's amazing. Yeah, they grow so fun to. My son Frozen 2, the second one there, and you get to relive that, being a kid through your kids. It's the best.
It's the best, no doubt about it. It's the best being a dad, no doubt. Well, I tell you, Kyle, I love the show. The music is fantastic. I was going to say the show. I got to get to a live show. I'm sure I'll love that too out there one of these days. Catching you guys live up there in the beautiful country of Canada. I got some great friends that live on the west side. I love traveling west to east on Canada. Went to a CFL game there years ago in Edmonton, and just love learning about all the new artists that come out of that area up there. Cam loops in it over the entire country. The new single is Whispering Pines. It features Kyle and Sarah McKearney out there. Make sure you guys check that out. It just came out at the end of January. And of course, I know there's probably big things on the horizon for 2023. And you can also check him out at I am Kyle McKearney.com. Make sure you guys do that too as well. Kyle, I appreciate the time. Thanks for sharing it with us here on the show. Best of luck with the single and moving forward with all the other endeavors, and best of luck in 2023.
No, my pleasure, sir. Thank you for having me.
You got it. It's I'm KyleMcKearney.com, and Whispering Pines is the current single out there across all the digital platforms. We're off Monday, I believe. We may have an artist. We'll have to see. I can tell you next week on Thursday, Travis Denning is going to stop by. Then on Friday, Texas country artist Aaron Watson is going to come by and spend some time with us here on the Backstage Pass as we count down to CRS 2023, presented by Bangtail Whiskey, our friends over at Honky Tonk, Texas, and our friends at Gentle Ben Spirits. Have a great weekend. Drink responsibly and go do what you love to do, and do it for fun and for family. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.